there, this is Halima with the Floral Guru, and today we are talking all about silk flowers and how to design an arrangement using silk flowers. Now, in the past, silk flowers have been a big no-no. Over the years, the quality of silk flowers has improved tremendously. You can find beautiful, high-quality silk flowers to use at home or for events, and my trick is always to mix fresh flowers and silk flowers. As beautiful as silks are these days, for me, there still is a distinction between fresh flowers and silk flowers. There is nothing that can really replace the movement, the texture of a fresh flower, especially in pictures. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make an arrangement using a mix of silk hydrangea as well as some fresh roses and orchids. For this design, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need your base. You're also going to need some floral foam. You're going to need a knife, some water tubes, floral clippers, as well as some floral tape. Now, I will link as much as possible all of the items I'm using down in the description box. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you where you can find these beautiful hydrangea and how you can get 10% off your order. So let's get into the design. So the first thing I want to do is cut my foam. So floral foam comes in a big rectangle like this, and I'm just going to put it up against my vase so that I can measure it and cut it to size. So I'm going to cut the foam with a knife, and I'm going to cut about half of it off. And then I'm just gonna trim it down so that it can actually fit my vase. So you see how I've done that, and you just push it in, and you can just keep the excess foam off to the side. Now, because I want my arrangement to have some height, I'm gonna do that again with the second piece of foam. Just trimming it to the sides of the vase, and then pushing it down. So this is going to be the starting point for my design. You'll see that my foam is a little bit taller than my vase, which is fine. So once you have your foam in your vase, the next thing you want to do is go in with your tape. And I'm just going to make an X on my vase with my tape. This is the foundation of your design, and it's really, really easy. So the next thing you want to do is start to go in with your biggest flowers. I'm working with some silk hydrangea, and these are my biggest flowers, so this is where I'm going to start with. So when you're designing a centerpiece, the one thing to keep in mind is that the longer the stem, the further out your flowers are going to be, and the bigger your arrangement is going to be. The bigger your arrangement is, the more flowers you're going to need. So if I put my stem in out here, it's going to make a bigger arrangement, and it's going to require more flowers. If I put it in way down here, you see visually that the arrangement gets smaller. So I want to make a fairly big arrangement. If you know the Floral Guru, you know my style, you know I love big. I'm going to start by putting my first stem in the middle of my design. Then I'm going to go in and put the other stems on the sides. And I'm just going to keep spinning my arrangement around as I design and fill it in with all of my silk flowers. The point of your hydrangea is really to fill up all of the big holes in your arrangement so that you don't see the foam, the tape, any of the mechanics. When you're designing, you want to make sure you're looking at your arrangement from all angles. So if you just design on top, yes, it looks great from the top, but then you see that there's still a lot that's happening at the base that you need to fill in. So it's always great to pick your arrangement up or shift the way that you're standing so that you can see your arrangement from different angles. So as you can see, I'm done adding all of my hydrangea. I know that this is a huge arrangement, and yours definitely doesn't have to be this big. I just like really, really big arrangements. To make your design smaller, again, just push your flowers in closer so that you don't use as many flowers. So now that I'm done with all of my hydrangea, this is going to be the foundation of my design. And then I'm gonna go in with all of my roses to really make this design beautiful. Now, when you're working with floral foam, typically as a florist, we wet our foam. But because I'm designing with fresh and silk flowers, I didn't wet my foam. But at the same time, we need a water source for our fresh flowers. And so this is where the water tubes come in. If you watch my channel a lot, you'll know that I love water tubes and I use them a lot. So all you have to do is give your flowers a fresh cut, stick them inside of the water tube, and then just place that into your arrangement. So with the fresh flowers, you're going to want to make sure that they stick out a little bit further out than your silk flowers. And you can see how I do that here. Just like that. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit and just keep working on my arrangement. I'm not gonna water tube all of my fresh flowers just because this is only for the video, but for you at home, you definitely want to water tube all of your fresh flowers. If you don't, the foam is gonna dry out your flowers and kill them really, really quickly. As you can see, the fresh roses have completely transformed this design. Can't even really see the hydrangea anymore, which is the way that I love to use silk flowers. I really see it as the foundational layer of your design, especially if you are a florist that's operating in the luxury floral market. You want to make sure that the presence of fresh flowers is definitely heavy. As you can see, I have some beautiful orchids that I'm going to be working with. And for these orchids, you're also going to need water tubes. So you're going to just snip off one of the blooms from the orchids, stick the blooms inside of water tubes filled with water, and that is how your orchids are going to be able to survive, very similar to what you did for your roses. Now, because the stems of the orchids are shorter, you may need to add a stick, and so you'll see here I have a hyacinth stick, and just wrap it around, or you can tape it around your orchid stem to add a little bit of length to your stem. And then you can just place it into your design just like that. So I'm not going to water tube all of my orchids just because this is just a demo for you. I'm actually going to break down this arrangement after my demo, but I wanted to show you how you can make sure that your flowers stay alive. So I'm just going to start popping in my orchids just like I did with my roses, spinning my arrangement around. And the water tubes are great. If you watch a lot of my videos, you'll see that I use water tubes for so many designs. And you can see again, the orchids, just like how the roses transform the design, the orchids are going to take the design to literally another level. So all I'm doing, because I'm not fully water tubing the design, like I mentioned, this is just for the demo, I'm just tucking in my orchid, allowing the other flowers to hold it together. But for you, you are going to want to water tube, unless you're just at home practicing, you're going to want to water tube your stems so that your orchids have a water source and can actually survive. And if you are interested in learning how to design large centerpieces for weddings, I actually have a tutorial on that. Just click the link in the description box and you'll be able to see how to design from beginning to end a beautiful tall centerpiece for a wedding. So as you can see, I am all done with my design. It is absolutely gorgeous. All you can really see is the orchids and the roses. You don't even really tell that there are hydrangea, and definitely not silk hydrangea in here. So this is how I like to design, using fresh flowers and silk flowers. Obviously, you know, you can do whatever speaks to your heart and whatever you like, but this is just my aesthetic. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.